Welcome to NewsTrack YouTube channel. In today's video, we share the latest updates on celebrities who sadly passed away today. We remember their lives, achievements, and the impact they had on fans around the world. Our thoughts go out to their families and loved ones during this difficult time. Stay updated with real-time news on celebrity deaths and tributes from the entertainment industry. Adam Selwood. Former West Coast player Adam Selwood dies months after twin brother's death. The West Coast Premiership star Adam Selwood has been remembered as the ultimate teammate with an infectious personality after his death aged 41. Selwood's death in Perth on Saturday came 3 months after his identical twin and fellow former AFL player Troy Selwood died. Adam Selwood played 187 games for West Coast, including the 2006 Premiership, before retiring from football in 2013. We are heartbroken by the passing of Adam earlier today. Words cannot express the grief and sadness we feel, the Selwood family said in a statement via the AFL on Saturday. Adam was a loving husband and an incredible father to Lenny and Billy. We are devastated to lose such a wonderful husband, father, son, and brother. We will miss Adam deeply. His spirit, his kindness, and the joy he brought to every room. His determination, the lessons he shared, and his infectious personality will stay with us always. Adam had a unique ability to make people feel special, and our family was lucky to experience that every day. We kindly ask for privacy as we navigate this difficult time. Members of the AFL's famous Selwood family, midfielders Adam and Troy, were brothers of the Geelong champion Joel Selwood and the former Eagles and Cats midfielder Scott Selwood. Adam said writing the eulogy was the hardest thing he had ever had to do. Having an identical twin is both a rare privilege and wonderfully complex, Adam said at Troy's memorial service at GMHBA Stadium in February. A twin is more than a sibling. They are a constant presence, a built-in best mate, and someone who understands you in a way that no one ever could. Troy wasn't just my brother. He was my mirror, my fiercest competitor. Al Pacino. Al Pacino, his name echoes through the halls of cinematic history like a timeless melody. He is not just an actor. He is a presence, a force, a soul who brought the weight of humanity to every role he touched. From The Godfather to Scarface, from Scent of a Woman to The Irishman, he gave us characters that weren't just watched, they were felt deeply. But now, far from the lights of the stage and the camera, Al is facing a far more personal struggle. His health is very poor, and the risk of further decline is growing. It's hard to see someone so iconic become vulnerable. Once a man of electric energy and piercing intensity, Al now moves more slowly, more carefully. The fire is still there, flickering behind his eyes, but his steps are more cautious. His voice sometimes softer, more weary. Age and illness have taken their toll, and those close to him are quietly preparing for what may come. Still, even in this quieter time, his legacy roars. Al Pacino didn't just act, he transformed, he elevated, he awakened something within us. He showed us rage and tenderness, power and fragility, darkness and redemption. His work is carved into the very soul of cinema. Now, as he faces this chapter of fragility, we reflect on the gift he has been. We remember not only the unforgettable performances, but the man behind them. Humble, complex, deeply human. He has given so much to the world, and now the world holds him close. This is not just about illness. It's about honoring a life of passion, brilliance, and impact. As his health grows more uncertain, we surround Al with love and respect. We send strength where words may not reach. And we say, with full hearts and deep gratitude, thank you, Al Pacino, for everything. Demi Moore. Demi Moore, Nicole Scherzinger, Darren Criss, and more walk the red carpet at Family Equality's Night at the Pier. Photos. Family Equality's annual Night at the Pier brings together LGBTQ+ families, allies, and advocates to honor the changemakers who have fought for equality and shaped a more inclusive world. The gala on Thursday night at New York City's Chelsea Piers raised $1.5 million to support Family Equality's work to advance legal and lived equality for LGBTQ+ families nationwide. Untitled Entertainment founding partner Jason Weinberg and his screenwriter husband Merritt Johnson received the Luigi Caiola Luminary Award. "We feel so strongly about family equality and the work that they do," Johnson said. "We think it's very important, especially these times that we're in," Weinberg added. "We don't want our family to be pulled apart. We need to actually speak up and not be quiet." Moore said, "Family comes in many different forms, and at the root of that, it is based in love." The event also celebrated a decade of marriage equality with Jim Obergefell, the lead plaintiff in the historic 2015 U.S. Supreme Court case that secured the right to marry for millions of Americans. Check out the gallery below for all the celebs who turned out for Night at the Pier. J. Batt. J. Batt dies at 64. J. Batt, a New Orleans businessman who represented District A on the city council for 4 years, died in his sleep Sunday night. He was 64. No cause of death has been established, but Batt had suffered from diabetes most of his life, according to Bill Kearney IV, a close friend. Batt served on the council through Hurricane Katrina as the federal levee failures swamped the city. After losing re-election in 2006, he became active on a number of boards and in neighborhood associations, including service on the Sugar Bowl Committee, where he was president, and as president of the board overseeing New Orleans City Park. His death represents a profound loss, said City Council member Helena Moreno in a prepared statement. J. Batt genuinely cared for our city, and even after leaving public office, he always stood ready to assist city leaders. His brother, the actor Brian Batt, described him as, quote, "a true friend, a wonderful father and husband, and a great brother. Our parents raised 2 completely different children," he said, "but we remained very close." "He was an all-around nice guy," said Suzanne Hike Terrell, who preceded Batt in the District A seat. "He worked hard to please everyone and do what was best in the community." She served with Batt on the Louisiana State Museum Board. "He was very educated and well-versed on the matters there," Terrell said. "He always knew what was up." Born John August Batt Jr., he was the grandson of Harry J. Batt Sr., who founded the Pontchartrain Beach Amusement Park. When the elder Batt retired, his sons, Harry J. Batt Sr. and John A. Batt. Marianne Bernadotte. Countess Marianne Bernadotte has died in her sleep at the age of 100. Was she an actress before her marriage? Countess Marianne Bernadotte, who celebrated her 100th birthday in July of last year, was the oldest member of the Swedish royal family. Tributes have been pouring in for Countess Marianne Bernadotte, who has died at the age of 100. Swedish violin soloist Christian Svarfar paid tribute to her on Instagram and wrote, "Many of us have a lot to thank Marianne Bernadotte for, not only for her elegance, strength, and glow, but for her deeply known commitment to young artists. Marianne was a dear friend for many years. Always curious. Always be generous. Through the Bernadotte Art Awards and her Artist Fund, she has carried forward generations of young creators. I am deeply grateful for all the conversations we had, and for the support you also gave me." The fact that she became 100 years old is obvious. She carried the time with such dignity. Hello magazine reported that the news was confirmed by the Swedish palace, who paid tribute to Marianne. In a statement, they highlighted her work on supporting causes that offered research and care for people living with conditions like dementia, pediatric eye care, and disabilities. Countess Marianne Bernadotte was married to Count Sigvard Bernadotte, who passed away in 2002. According to the Swedish Royal Court's website, until his marriage to the German Erika Patzek in 1934, he held the titles Prince of Sweden and Duke of Uppland. His marriage to Erika Patzek was dissolved in 1943. The following year, he married the Dane Sonja Robert. They divorced in 1961. Sigvard Bernadotte's third wife, whom he married in 1961, was Marianne Lindberg. Werenoi. Werenoi dies at 31. Werenoi, one of the most successful rappers in France, has died aged 31. His record label Believe confirmed the news, writing on Instagram, "It is with immense sadness that we learned of Werenoy's passing. May he rest in peace." The rapper, real name Jeremy Bana Awana, died at La Pitié-Salpêtrière Hospital in Paris early on Saturday morning. A cause of death has not been officially announced. though French media have reported him suffering a heart attack. Owana was born to Cameroonian parents and raised in the eastern suburbs of Paris. After he broke through in 2021 with debut track Guadalajara, 3 of his 4 studio albums, 2023's Carré, Pyramide, and Pyramide 2 in 2024, and Diamant Noir released last month, topped the French charts. Snep, which monitors music sales in France, stated that Owana had the biggest selling album in France in both 2023 and 2024, as well as collaborating with the cream of the francophone rap scene, including Aya Nakamura, Damso, and Hamza. He also collaborated with major names in the US, with Gunna and Lil Chijay appearing on Diamant Noir. He had been due to perform in Lyon on the night of his death. Earlier in the week, he had won Album of the Year for Pyramide 2 at Les Flammes, a French award ceremony honoring the best in rap and other music of Black origin. He was unable to attend and sent a video message showing his arm in a sling, describing a, quote, a big injury. Nakamura and Lil TJ were among those paying tribute, along with other artists such as Gims. For 204 years, The Guardian has pursued independent journalism with purpose, rigor, and resolve. But now, in 2025, we face new kinds of challenges, of a type largely unimaginable in the past. Brian Glanville. Brian Glanville dies at 93. Brian Glanville, whose insightful football writing had a profound influence on generations of reporters and readers alike, has died aged 93. A novelist and respected columnist, Glanville was a prolific commentator on his beloved game, a passionate chronicler of Italian football, and author of some of football's most influential books. He spent 30 years as a football correspondent for the Sunday Times, contributed to World Soccer magazine for more than 5 decades, and wrote compelling obituaries for The Guardian. His most recently published tributes considered the careers of Northern Ireland and Aston Villa winger Peter McParland and the Manchester United legend Dennis Law. A lifelong Arsenal fan, his first book, with the Gunners winger Cliff Baston, was published in 1950, and he was still writing about the North London club decades later. His final work, A History of Highbury, published in 2006. Glanville's The Story of the World Cup is considered a seminal work on the global tournament, and other books, such as The Puffin Book of Football, fostered a lifelong devotion to the sport for many young readers. He won admirers in the US long before the game enjoyed a wider following there, and Sports Illustrated's Paul Zimmerman called him the greatest football writer of all time. As well as numerous novels and short stories, 2 plays and a musical, he produced the screenplay for the 1967 documentary Goal, World Cup 1966, and saw Sir John Gielgud play the lead in a BBC radio production of his A Visit to the Villa. His eye for the global game in the 1960s and 70s especially earned Glanville a place on the jury for the annual Ballon d'Or. Duncan Campbell. Duncan Campbell dies at 80. Duncan Campbell, the celebrated Guardian crime reporter, writer and broadcaster, whose work highlighted police corruption, the shortcomings in the justice system, and miscarriages of justice, has died at the age of 80. Campbell was one of the most respected crime correspondents of his generation, fearlessly pursuing police corruption and reporting on some of the most high-profile criminal cases of recent decades, including the Rosemary West trial and the Hatton Garden heist. Campbell joined The Guardian in 1987. He soon became its crime correspondent, quickly establishing himself as one of the most authoritative and respected journalists covering the beat. He was also elected chair of the Crime Reporters Association for several years in the 1990s and won the Bar Council's Newspaper Journalist of the Year award in 1992. In 1997, Campbell successfully defended himself against a libel claim brought by police officers in Stoke Newington, East London. The case was seen at the time as a test of the media's ability to investigate alleged police corruption. 5 officers had sued The Guardian over 2 articles by Campbell in January 1992, which they claimed suggested they were involved in drug dealing. After the case, Campbell described it as an extremely important verdict, both for national and local newspapers who want to honestly report investigations into alleged corruption. A House of Commons motion, signed by 40 MPs, described it as a landmark victory, both for responsible journalism and for the maintenance of public confidence in the police. Campbell's sister Fiona described him as a, quote, much-loved brother, special uncle and great-uncle, and special to many other young people as well. Peter Lax. Peter Lax dies at 99. Peter Lax, whose work at the intersection of mathematical theory and application redefined how scientists used new computing technology to solve the technical problems of the Cold War, from designing aircraft and weapons to predicting the weather, died on Friday at his home in Manhattan. He was 99. His son, Dr. James D. Lax, confirmed the death. As the computer age was dawning, Dr. Lax, a native of Hungary, led the way in figuring out how the new technology could be harnessed to mathematics for the purpose of analyzing complex phenomena in nature, technology, and warfare. His theoretical breakthroughs and his leadership in developing large-scale computing infrastructure produced new ways to characterize and predict phenomena as varied as storm fronts, shock waves, and stock prices. In 2005, he was the first applied mathematician to win the Abel Prize in mathematics, the closest equivalent to the Nobel Prize. Presented at a ceremony in Oslo, the prize recognized his contributions to the field of partial differential equations, the mathematics of things that move and flow. He has been described as the most versatile mathematician of his generation, the prize citation said. Dr. Lax's engagement with the new field of electronic computing grew out of his wartime weapons research. Working with the Manhattan Project in Los Alamos, NM, in 1945 and 1946, he performed intricate calculations for the development of the atomic bomb. His work at the Current Institute of Mathematical Sciences at New York University rapidly altered the trajectory of the computing field, supporting new uses of computers in the analysis of complex systems. Will Smith. Alfonso Ribeiro talks close bond with co-star Will Smith, lot of love. Alfonso Ribeiro spoke about his strong bond with the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air co-star Will Smith as the hit TV series marks its 35th anniversary. The comedy sitcom, which aired for 6 seasons from 1990 to 1996, starred Smith as a fictionalized version of himself, a street-smart teen from Philadelphia sent to live with his rich relatives in Bel Air, Los Angeles. Ribeiro starred as Carlton Banks, Will's preppy and politically conservative cousin. During a conversation with the People magazine at the red carpet of Disney Upfront 2025 event in New York City, the Silver Spoons actor said that he and Smith talk every once in a while. "I talk to everyone when I can," he said of the cast of the 90s show. "We're all obviously doing many different things, but there's a lot of love, and 35 years is pretty special." Previously, Smith revealed on an episode of VICE's Black Comedy in America that his bond with Ribeiro was one of the, quote, creative relationships that totally transformed his life. He said that Ribeiro was one of those people who are able to understand you, then craft things for you to create and shine and explode. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air catapulted Will Smith to global stardom and introduced audiences' successful black family in a positive light. Decades later, it is still seen as a classic with big cultural impact. Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise has long been the embodiment of fearless ambition, a man who chased the edge, leapt from buildings, and ran full speed into the hearts of audiences around the world. From Top Gun to Mission Impossible, he gave us more than action. He gave us intensity, dedication, and an unwavering belief in pushing limits. But now, far from the stunts and sets, Tom is facing a deeply personal battle. His health is very poor, and for those who love him most, there is a growing concern that the risk to his well-being may be increasing. It's hard to imagine someone like Tom in stillness. He's always been in motion, always reaching, striving, doing what others wouldn't dare. But even the strongest bodies can tire, and even the most disciplined minds can face moments of surrender. In recent months, those closest to him have seen the change. The pace has slowed, the weight has grown heavier. His strength, once seemingly limitless, is now guarded, precious, and yet even in illness, his spirit remains unshaken. There is courage in the quiet, grace in the way he continues to care, to connect, to reflect on a life lived at full throttle. Tom Cruise has never been just a star. He is a storyteller, a relentless dreamer, someone who never gave up no matter the odds. The world now watches with empathy and hope. His fans, spanning generations, remember the impact he made, the roles, the risks, the moments that made our hearts race. And in this chapter of uncertainty, that same world surrounds him with love and strength. As the road ahead becomes more fragile, one truth holds steady. Tom Cruise gave everything he had to his craft, to his audience, to his mission. And now we give back, in gratitude, in prayer, and in quiet solidarity. He is not alone. Not now, not ever. John E. Bryson. John E. Bryson dies at 81. The entire Edison International Southern California Edison and Trio community is deeply saddened to learn of the passing of John Bryson, who served as Edison International's chairman and CEO from 1990 to 2008. John passed away Tuesday, May 13th, at age 81. He was a groundbreaking leader whose remarkable career ranged from a founding role in the environmental movement to public service as the U.S. Secretary of Commerce. "Our industry has lost a true legend, and I have lost a mentor," said Pedro Pizarro, president and CEO of Edison International. John's steady leadership during the California electricity crisis and the industry's restructuring 2 decades ago set a guiding model for me as we navigate a changing utility landscape. After graduating from Stanford University and Yale Law School, John co-founded the Natural Resources Defense Council in 1970. He was one of the earliest to sound the alarm about the impacts of climate change and was a vocal advocate to advance energy efficiency, renewable energy, and electric transportation. He later chaired the California State Water Resources Board, 1976 to 79, and served as president of the California Public Utilities Commission, 1979 to 82. John joined SCE in 1984 as Senior Vice President for Legal and Financial Affairs. His first major assignment was to analyze whether the company should develop a competitive power business, newly permitted under changes in federal law, which would be independent of the utility. John strongly recommended its development. Subsequently, the company developed a series of successful cogeneration projects in California and the western United States, created a new parent company, Edison International, and formed a new subsidiary that became Edison Mission Energy.